Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm headed to go vote no on a very important piece of legislation, or a very BS piece of legislation. It's actually named the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act is a massive tax bill, a massive spending bill. Let's just talk a few minutes about literally how Democrats here in Washington, they think that you're stupid. And that's what they think about you. So let's think about this. They named this bill the Inflation Reduction Act. And then what does this bill actually do? It takes $80 billion, that's just a small part of the spending of it, $80 billion of your money to hire literally 87,000 new IRS workers. So that's their idea of how to reduce inflation in your life, reduce gas prices in your life, reduce the price of ground beef or of potatoes or eggs or milk or anything else in your life, is to say, well, step one, we must have to hire 87,000 new IRS workers. Now let's put that into a little bit of perspective here as I had to go vote. The IRS right now is funded to the tune of about $13.5 billion a year. And so you add $80 billion to that. You're talking about that 6 times the amount that they're funded right now. To do what? It's to get blood from a stone. That's the whole point. They're not funding the IRS with the intent of not getting more money out of you. They're not funding the IRS with the intent of getting you a quicker refund. That's not what's happening here. They're funding the IRS fundamentally with the point of getting more money out of each and every one of you. And then what's one of the other big parts of this bill that they intend to do with those dollars? They intend to use those dollars to make sure to fund EV tax credits, electric vehicle tax credits. So that's something that your dollars are going to go for. And then, by the way, what's one of the other things that they're pushing right now in terms of tax? And this is something that they would also use their 87,000 new IRS workers for. So if you don't get an EV, with the tax credits that they're going to give you, with the money they're collecting from the 87,000 new IRS workers, where are they going to try and hit you? They're going to try and hit you with a carbon tax. So you look at all of those things layering on top of one another. It is a very big deal. It's absolute garbage. And I'm not going to encourage y'all to spend your time watching C-SPAN today. But if you watch the debate going on C-SPAN right now, with Democrats defending this, it is arrogant. I mean, it's pure arrogance and almost laughing at the American people and what you have to deal with, and as though there's no problem with dealing with the IRS and no recognition. I don't think it's personal to the Democrats that are writing this bill on what it's like to deal with the IRS. Dealing with the IRS, it's not a pleasant thing for any one of us. I've dealt with the IRS before. You can't get a hold of them on the phone. You get a letter in the mail that tells you you're going to be audited or investigated. So you got to go back there and try to find paperwork and receipts and things like that you have no idea maybe where those things even are. And then they're going to tell you that, you might have your wages garnished, or you might have to pay an interest rate on something from however many years ago for however many of the past years, or you're going to have to pay this much more. And then you can't get a letter back. You can't get a phone call back. That for anybody, that's stressful to them. It's stressful to their business. But what? They're going to hire 87,000 new IRS workers to go out there and audit you. They are going to make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze. I think that's the most important point that I could put on that. They're going to make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze with hiring those workers, and they believe that is how they combat inflation in your life. Now, I've talked about inflation a lot, and the fact that, the number one driver of inflation is energy policy. The Biden administration's energy policy. There's a truck in the middle of everything. I always use this point to say, there's no such thing as farm to table. It's farm to truck to table. It's farm to truck to grocery store. It's manufacturing to truck to the place that you're going to buy something. There's a truck in the middle of everything, to include us getting to the place that we're going to go out there and buy things. So number one, they need to adjust their failed energy policies from day one. That's what's going on. So, like I said, got to go vote no on the BS titled Inflation Reduction Act, which is a slap in the face of every single one of we the people. In that, as always, it's an honor to represent you. Look forward to seeing you all around home, and I wish you all the best. You all take care.